I recently took an overnight backpacking trip to Lake Solitude in New Hampshire, and I'm going to walk you through the gear that I used and what worked and what didn't work. This was more or less a winter backpacking trip with lows around 20 degrees. The highs of the day were around 40 depending on elevation. So first on the list is my backpack, which is the Osprey Exos 48. It has an airframe and it literally keeps the backpack off of your back. This is the older model, so it actually has hip belt pockets on both sides and shoulder strap pockets too, which I love. This backpack is truly amazing. It's not the lightest, it's not the heaviest, but it rides so comfortably on your hips. I would estimate I had about 30 pounds in this on my trip, and you couldn't even feel it. It rode so well, it was very comfortable. For my sleeping bag, or I should say quilts, I brought my ThermARest Vesper 20 degree quilt. It's a down quilt. It weighs, I think, like 19 ounces, so it's super light. This is extreme rated to 20 degrees, so I did get a little chilly on my overnight adventure. Cue clip, please.
That was a pretty miserable night.
For my sleeping pad, I brought the Nemo Tensor Insulated pad. I just bought this. It is just not built for the conditions that I brought it in, and I knew that.
I knew it, but I didn't want to believe it.
I typically bring, on trips like this, the Therm-A-Rest Therm. I love that pad. It has an R value of 6.9. For some reason, I was just really excited to use this Nemo Tensor, and I decided to bring it with me. And I did get very cold that night when I was trying to sleep.
I got very little sleep last night.
For my pillow, I have a Gear Doctor's inflatable pillow. It comes with a strap. This is a very cheap pillow. I got off of Amazon, I think, for $20-40, but it does the job. And I actually did bring a second sleeping mat with me / butt pad. I got this from Laurel Designs. It's 1/8 inch foam pad. Everybody knows about these at this point, but it's long, so you can kind of stretch it out. Actually, I picked this up when I was hiking the Long Trail in 2021, so great little pad, very, very light, thin. And then for my shelter, I have a Zpack 7x9 flat tarp. Weighs like 6 ounces, just somewhere around that. I love this tarp. I just got it, I don't know, a few months ago, 6 months ago, so to say. So I picked this up used. It's in great condition though. Great tarp, especially considering the weight and the amount of space it gives you. I'm really impressed with this. And for a ground sheet, I can't remember where I got this from. It's just that window plastic film that you put on your windows, so really thin, really light. But I've had this one since the Long Trail, and I hiked the Long Trail with this, and it's still going strong, so it's rather durable, I would say. I did bring trekking poles as well. These are called Trail Buddies. I have a really nice set of trekking poles, and I have no idea where they are, and I'm really bumming about it. These are like Amazon $40 trekking poles, but they did the job. And I also needed snowshoes, which I did use. These are Yukon Charlie Trail 825s. They are very cheap snowshoes, I think from TJ Maxx. It's like a department store. So they're not the lightest and they're not the most durable, but they work pretty well. So for my food carry, I always do an odor-proof Loki sack. This is supposedly an odor-proof sack. And for hanging my food, I have a Mountain Laurel Designs DCF bag, and then just some string with a rock bag. So for my cook system for this trip, which I don't always do, I oftentimes go stoveless, but it was winter and I just felt like having a hot meal at the end of the night. This trip, I did bring a Toaks 550 titanium pot, just big enough just to use for a cup, for drinking coffee, or boiling water. And then inside of it, BRS, little tiny 1 ounce stove. This thing's just so small, so light, ultra amazing. And then just 4-season gas. It does still muck up a little bit in the colder temperatures, but if you keep it warm just by sticking it in your jacket or whatnot, keeping it close to your body, it's usually not a big deal. So I have a little DCF bag that I use to keep all of my tent stakes in, and then my trowel as well. Just everything that really just comes in contact with the dirt. So for layering, I brought the Mountain Hardwear. This is actually the Metatherm down jacket, but this is a really nice light jacket. Typically I bring this in the summertime just as a nighttime layer or whatnot. I did bring it with me on this past trip, and I layered it with a synthetic jacket. And the synthetic jacket is the Under Armour synthetic jacket. It says X Storm on it. It's not very light, it's about 1 pound, but the cut on it is very nice. It's very long, so it covers your tushy. And it's very durable. I've had this thing for at least 8 years, I would say, at this point, and it literally doesn't have a scratch or a tear or anything on it. I use this every day going to and from work, and I bring it backpacking with me, usually in the wintertime. I did bring rain pants and basically wore rain pants the entire time. These are some Columbia rain pants. These are really thick. They're pretty darn heavy, but they're pretty darn durable as well. And they fit on the large size, so I can layer things underneath, which is what I did with these pants. I also brought winter gaiters. So these gaiters went, I would say, almost all the way up my calves. They do a great job keeping the snow out from getting into my boots. So they go around the top of my boot and create a seal, basically preventing the snow from riding up and over the lip of my boot and getting inside, and thus my feet getting wet. I did bring 2 sets of gloves, a light set of gloves like tech gloves that I could use my phone with. These are just generic tech gloves. And then I also brought heavy duty like winter gloves for nighttime and sleeping, and these are waterproof as well. I got these from a department store, very affordable. I've had these for a few years and they're still waterproof. I actually ran them underwater before the start of this winter season, totally expecting to find a leak with these, and they're still good and they're still solid. I'm super impressed. And for my rain jacket, I brought the Outdoor Research Helium rain jacket. So this is a very basic rain jacket. It has 1 pocket in the front, does stuff into an inside pocket as well, so you can use this pocket too. So 2 pockets on this rain jacket. It's fairly light. The only thing I really don't like about it is there's no pit zips on this jacket. I feel like all rain jackets should have pit zips. So it's really hard sometimes to keep yourself well ventilated while wearing this jacket. And then for my winter beanie, for my hat, it's just a Columbia wintertime hat. It has the silver lining on the inside, or at least it did. This hat's pretty old, so it's getting pretty worn down. For footwear, I wore the Keen Targi 2 waterproof boot. I've been a fan of Keens for quite a long time. I love the ultra wide toe box on these. They're so darn comfortable just right out of the box. They just fit my foot really well. I don't have to use an insole with them or anything. I don't wear boots really in the summertime. You know, this being a wintertime trip, I obviously want to try to keep my feet dry, and that requires oftentimes a boot. And then I do carry a ditty bag with me with just all kinds of stuff in here. You know how ditty bags are. First up is my medical kit / first aid kit / repair kit. I kind of just group everything into one kit. So in here I'll have a little Swiss Army knife, I'll have some Leuco tape, I'll have some medicines, different kinds, a lighter, a space blanket, some stuff to repair my air mattress if that pops. Those things all go in just one sack for me. Got some toilet paper, some hand warmers, toothbrush with toothpaste, various charging cords, FlexTail Tiny Pump X2. This thing's awesome. Comes with a light. Goes up to 400 lumen. Comes with the actual pump, obviously, for your air mattress. I also used this to stoke the fire when I went backpacking. It was really, really easy to keep that fire lit and going with this device instead of blowing into the fire, getting smoke in your eyes, all that nasty stuff. I just turned this thing on, whoosh, the flames went up. It was awesome. I have sunscreen, hand sanitizer, and some lip balm. This will represent my battery bank, which is actually at work, so I don't have it on me. The 10,000, yeah, it's a 10,000 milliamp battery charger, but that'll charge my phone maybe 3 times. In the headlamp, Nitecore NU25 UL, I don't know if this is called the 2, but this is the newer edition with the USB-C rechargeable cable option, so that is awesome. This is like one of the first really nice headlamps I've owned. Goes all the way up to, I think, 400 lumen, which is just mind-blowing. This is lighter than my old headlamp that I was using, and that headlamp I think went up to 160 lumens, so this is lighter and over double as powerful. So if you saw my video of me backpacking to Lake Solitude, you probably noticed I got very cold that night. And there's a couple of reasons for it. Number one, I didn't bring the proper sleeping bag and or quilt. Typically, I bring my 20-degree down quilt with a down blanket as well. I also usually bring a ThermARest X-Therm sleeping pad, which has an R value. Mine has an R value of 6.9. So I brought the Nemo Tensor, which has an R value of around 4.5, I believe. So it just wasn't even close to the sleep system that I actually needed to stay warm in 20-degree temperatures. I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them below. And I hope you have a great night.